All right, good evening, everyone. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Let me know how you guys all doing. I don't know if you can hear me. So, hope everybody ready for Labor Day. Can't believe the month of August went by pretty quick. I'm sure it definitely went by pretty quick. Awesome. Thank you for letting us know. Texas time. Welcome into the house. All right. Meanwhile, so we're going to take you for a train ride. So the readings for this week will be from the 22nd Sunday of Ordinary Time. So it'll be a reading from Sirach. So here's the first reading. My child, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts. Humble yourself more than greater you are, and you will find the favor with God. Was too sublime for you to seek, not into things beyond your strength. Search not the mind of the sage, appreciate proverb, and attentive ears is the joy of the wise. Water quenches flaming fire, and alms atones for sins. This is the word of the Lord. All right, a reading from the Psalms. God, in your goodness, you have made a home for the poor. The just rejoice and exult before God. They are glad and rejoice. Sing to God. Chant praise to his name, whose name is the Lord. God is your goodness. You have made a home for the poor. The father of the orphan and defender of widows is God in his holy dwelling. God gives a home to the forsaken. He leads forth prisoners to prosperity. God, in your goodness, you have made a home for the poor. A bountiful rain you shower down, O God, upon your inheritance. You restore the land when it's languished. Your flock settled in it. In your goodness, O God, you provided for the needy. God, in your goodness, you have made a home for the poor. Hello, Mary. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing, Alfonso?
I'm great, and you?
I just came in from outside.
How's it
It's been a
outside?
busy day.
Cold?
It's been a busy day. But it's been a good day, but busy.
Yeah.
I had Blessings Through Connection at 12:30.
Right.
And then that was on for a couple hours. And then I was on with Tommy talking about Canva. And then I went outside. And then I'm on with you.
Yeah, I saw that about the Canva with Tommy.
Yes. That was very good. Everybody seemed to have learned a lot and it maybe didn't look so scary to try to look at. So
I think I tried using Canva once, but it doesn't have the features that I need.
The ones that, you can't use it. Like if I'm going to send you, like I'm going to work to get our logo similar, but in a little bit more circular thing to make it easier. Right. So if I'm going to send you, I send you that and say, here, I know this is a mess, but I did it in Canva. Now you do your work in your program, because I know I can't do it in the same. But
yeah, I think Canvas that's more like for beginners, like for starters,
Well, Canvas serves it does a lot of good when you're trying to do thumbnails.
Yeah. It's for someone like who has no experience in the graphic design, like who wants to get into it. That's a good starting point.
Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I'm going to say that Canva's good for doing things like thumbnails and YouTube shorts.
Like for social media.
Social media, yes. And you can upgrade to the Pro version. And I think with the Pro version, you have more longitude to help kind of... My camera got knocked down earlier and I didn't fix it. It gives it a little bit more longitude to kind of...
Right.
Work and so forth, and you can send the stuff off to them and they can get it to specs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's good if you need a logo created, but if you need a logo done so that you can be able to upgrade it to like shirts and stuff, you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing. Right. And you need to turn it into something. But like what we did with the thumbnail.
Right.
The one he did.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that one, but he did one and I took it up a notch because his thumbnail was good. But what it said to me when I saw the pictures, she's going to take her crochet hook and come over and crochet with us. But that wasn't the point of the live. The point was showing Canva. So I found a picture on StockCake with a desk, with a computer. There's a free remove background website. Remove the background from the picture of my mom and I. Put that and then put, demonstrating knowledge of Canva.
Right.
Now people understand, oh, she's going to show us Canva. Because it had nothing to do with crochet.
Right.
So he said, my thumbnail was good, but you brought it up a lot. And it wasn't that hard to do. And if people realize that they can utilize like the frames and then there were people, I didn't realize you could do videos on it. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
Like our intro and outro is all done through Canva. It doesn't look like it's done through Canva, but it is. It looks pretty professional. And like, they have a feature to do YouTube shorts through Canva, but I don't like the way they have it set up.
Right.
Because you put it in and it makes it kind of go long form.
Right.
I like to use the Instagram stories because it divides the section. So if like for my jokes, I'm going to be doing, there's certain sections that are repetitive. So I can just make a copy and focus on certain sections and then just change those and leave the others. Hi, Barbara. So I prefer using Instagram stories versus the template for YouTube shorts. And it still works on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
But I showed people, listen, you go to Pixel Bay, you download a video, you put it into Canva in an Instagram story. Now you have a video, right?
Right.
Go and find an inspirational quote and plop it in there. Do some other stuff, put it up as a short, and add some music to it. Now you've got a short. Did it really take that much time? No. But people didn't realize they could do that. So hopefully
Barbara.
Hey,
Barbara.
God bless everybody.
How you doing?
Ooh, I'm making it.
I know the feeling.
Oh, you'd think they'd have to dig so deep. But he said it'd take me about 2 or 3 weeks to heal.
I'm sorry you're having to go through that.
Well, they're watching for more spots on the back of on the skin in my back. But hey, something we all have to do, to stay alive. God will tell us when it's time to go home.
Exactly. I don't know how long it's going to stick, but I got something to celebrate tonight.
What?
We're at 1901.
1901.
Yes.
Great.
Look.
That is great.
Oh, I may go back down but for right now, I'm like, yes, I got Mom's channel past the.
It is. It's something to be proud of. You've worked hard every day. Why shouldn't you be proud of it? You're not so proud that you're.
No, but I'm just.
But you're thanking God for it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, absolutely. And we were like 1876, and then we were 1885, then we were down to 1880, then we were 1885, then we were up to 1890, then we were back down, then we were 1895, then it's been this yo-yo for weeks, and I'm like, okay.
But it does that, Mary.
Oh, I know it does
up
that.
and down. Like I said, for August of 2025, I want to have 22,000, which I got. And then I said, for the end of the year for 2025, if I make it to 25,000, I'd be okay. And I'm almost to 24,000. So, but I haven't been, and that's not what I'm looking at. With being sick, with the cancer and the treatments, and then the skin cancer and all that, and then the sinus infection I had. I don't expect people to be there for me all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to put up as many videos as I had or anything like that. So I'm getting anywhere from 7 to about 40 a day. And I'm fine with that. I'm not out there to push. If they join, they join. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Well, we're building a community, not an audience.
That's right.
And I'm grateful. I'd like to get Mom's channel over 2K by the end of the year. That's just a thing I'd like to see. And I will say this, YouTube treats channels differently as you go through different stages. Like they treat a channel differently below 2K than over 2K and so forth. And so.
Well, I'm proof of that. Because the first part of December of 2023, I had, from October, knew I had cancer and that they were going to have to do the first surgery at the end of December. I had 600 and something, almost 700. I had my surgery. We put it on there. We did a little short. She's come out of the surgery. All of a sudden, I went over almost 2,000 subscribers. And within 3 days, it went over 5,000.
Yeah.
And then I said, I had made a promise, Lord, if I pull out this, I'm turning my life to you. I'm going back to you. I'm going to do videos and all that. And I slowly started, and all of a sudden, within 30 days, I had over 13,000 subscribers. Now, a lot of views, but a lot of comments had come in. There were so many I couldn't even get to them. I had to go into the dashboard and go into, comments there and write things and stuff. And once I started sharing what God has pulled me through and what I still expect to go through, it's gotten more. But I haven't been on as much as I don't have the strength. The little bit of strength I have, I try to do my epoxy resin,
Well, you've had all the stuff coming at you too. That hasn't helped.
Oh yeah, yeah. And yesterday, and I had to pray in the doctor's office. He said, Dr. Cormier kind of goes through the extreme. We can burn this off or we can take it off. What do you want to do? He said, it's going to be a big burn area. He said, your biopsy, it's going to leak and ooze like that. It's been a month, it's still doing it. And I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and take it off. He says, well, I'm going to have to inject you a lot, and, stuff like that. We're going to have to cut pretty big. Can you go through that? I said, oh, yeah, I've been through surgery like that before. And that's when I asked him. He says, let's go over here. And he told Wolf, he says, we're going to need more room than that in here, because he had 4 or 5 of his. He's the head of it, but he was teaching the others how to do stitches, and they were different stages. And I kind of felt a little bad because I can't lay on my stomach. And he needed me to for the surgery. I said, I can't do that. I said, but I can lean over a chair or something. And that's what I winded up doing. But then I winded up dozing off. They had given me a little mask with a little bit of oxygen and something that smelled funny. So I think they gave me something to make me relax. But when I woke up and all that, he did say, Barbara, this was deeper than we thought. We had to cut more out. I said, well, I don't feel it. He says, you will. You will feel it. I went, uh-oh, okay. And but I thank the Lord that we got it in time, because he said another month, 2 months, and it would have eaten right through to the bone and could have turned to bone cancer. So I want to tell all of y'all, please see your doctor when there's something wrong.
Absolutely.
You have to. And you may not want to, but pray. God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit will give you enough faith to do what you need to do. And like I said the prayer with the doctor, and it came out okay. Now, he said they're looking at 4 larger spots and then 2 smaller spots, altogether. And I'm like, well, whatever has to be done, we'll watch it. He said, oh, yeah, we'll watch it closely, And he said I'd hurt more today. Yay, I hurt more today. But, it's a different kind of pain that where they did the biopsy and scraped the skin and some of the tissue, they left it open. They didn't cauterize it. They just patched it. That was painful. This is painful, but it's got stitches and it's been sewn up, and stuff. It's different.
Yeah.
And even our faith can be like that. It can be different. It can be the same. Just so we have faith.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I want to tell you, I've gotten some subscribers from your room, and they've been back and forth talking to me and stuff. They leave little comments and stuff.
Good.
And it's been very nice. It
I'm glad.
When I'm depressed or something like that, and I'm saying, oh my God, tomorrow they have to cut me open again. I'm like, oh God, I need some help. And all of a sudden, beep, I get a comment or something from some of them from the connections we've made. There's some good people.
Yes. Listen, y'all, my Blessed to Crochet community. You got a mission to go crochet that connection, and I love hearing that when we're in other chats. We're carrying that with with other people.
I went into one room and one of the trolls followed me. So I just backed out. I don't want no trouble for anyone else. Hey, Alfonso, last night you told me you took your train down.
Yeah, I took it down because my tracks need maintenance.
Yeah, so this is just a recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a recording.
Yeah.
Because I saved the
live.
recordings in case I had to take it down,
Yeah. You got company coming. You should
Yeah.
see, I am so proud of Wolf. He's been rearranging things. He bought some plastic containers to put some of the extra resin I've been pouring and finishing up. And he's got it all set up. I have a little video on it, a little short on it. And that's just one section. Then in the section in my epoxy room, we have he bought the to-go plates that has the plastic clear and then the black bottoms, and we put all the little bitty things, the little magnets in, and there's things it's all up on the shelves and stuff. So he's been doing really good, and he brings me some stuff here and I go through it. Okay, fall 13. Yeah, but we're getting things together. We will be having a Zoom meeting and talking about maybe helping a couple that needs a home. And we're kind of trying to clean up that extra bedroom so they can have a room. They have nothing. They've lost everything. And my spirit's just pulling to help them as long as they need to help, One needs the VA. The other one needs to go to trying to get her GED. And they're young. It's a very young couple. So if we can help, we'll help. If it don't work out, it don't work out. Just pray to the Lord that it does.
Absolutely.
And I think we all should do that if we can. There's too much hatred and stuff in the world today.
There's a website, or not a website, there's a channel. Well, they have a website too. It's called Helping Hands for Cruising. And
Helping Hands, what?
Helping Hands for Cruising. And it's in with Vicky's channel and some other channels. They're trying to get monetized and so forth. And what they do is they help people that can't go on a cruise, can't afford to do so. So they help them by trying to pay for their cruise trip. And I've offered to do a blanket because my dad, because of his dementia, he couldn't do any of that. They weren't able to go on vacations and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a blanket in memory of him, and I said I would donate it. And of course, only 48 states, and they'll use it in one of their auctions. But it's a great cause. You can nominate people for cruises. They have a process in which to nominate somebody for a cruise. If you wanted to, like I said, I could never afford to go on a cruise.
Well, after my mom died, right before Wolf came along. Well, Wolf was in my room, but I knew him by a different name. I told Elton, I said, I really want to go on a cruise, to Cozumel and, down in that area. Well, I was in a wheelchair because I had torn my Achilles heel tendons in both legs. And I booked it. Then when they called to verify it, because I was disabled in a wheelchair, they were putting us on the bottom floor in the center of the boat, meaning you couldn't look outside. You had no place to look outside or anything like that. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. If I'm paying that much money, I want to see the ocean. You could only spend so much time because I was in the wheelchair. I would sit in a chair, and then they'd take my wheelchair and they'd have to put it off aside because there's just too many people walking around. I said, that restricts my freedom. So I canceled it, and they hit some bad weather. So I guess, the good Lord knew I shouldn't have went, So, but thanks, sis.
You're welcome.
It's like disabled people are not treated like regular people,
That's unfortunate. To tell
Yeah.
the truth.
Like on an airplane. A friend of mine took her electric scooter and her walker. Well, they would let her use her walker. She had to buy 2 airplane tickets, one for her walker and one for her. Okay? And then she had her electric wheelchair in the baggage car. When they got to the place and it was scratched up, it was dented, everything like that. She wanted it taken an Amtrak, which was more expensive trying to get back home. She said, that's even worse. Actually, the travel agents and stuff like that don't understand about handicapped people. And I really feel sorry for handicapped people, unless you're going to rent an RV or find an RV or drive a camper you can drive, or have, one of these big old vans or whatever. They're stuck at home. Listen, Mary, tell the people if they need something extra. I got my resin. I don't mind donating some stuff that they can auction off.
Okay,
I have hangings and I have lamps.
I put the link in the chat. It's under hands.
Let me.
And
eyes are a little blurred from medication.
People can't go to them and ask for a cruise. You can nominate somebody for a cruise.
Yeah, I don't know who I would nominate.
I'm just kidding. There's a process to nominate. You go in, you go to their website, you upload a video, you put in the information and so forth. Like if, somebody's, had, hard knocks in their lives. I'm not looking for a cruise, but
I'm not either. No.
I mean, I thought, when Josh and I reach our 20th wedding anniversary, it would be nice to have that opportunity. And then it goes in front of a board or something like that too as well. But, you have to be nominated.
Oh, yeah.
So through it, which I think is great.
I could mail off a big box of stuff, and if they wanted it, fine. If not, they could donate it to charity.
I will get you in touch with with all of that. But it's like, I know that, but I think it's awesome to be able to do the fundraisers and have people that are deserving.
Yeah, see, I worked for the Wish Foundation for about 3 months as a volunteer. And to see those kids just light up, when they're like at the Civic Center, all the kids would join there within like the southwest part of Louisiana or the southeast part of Texas, and they'd get there with their parents and their names were in a thing, and we just stirred it up and we'd call out 2 or 3 names, and it was amazing. Some didn't want to go to Disney World. Some wanted to just go and spend 2 nights, say at Hollow Beach, where they could, be in the sand or whatever. One wanted to go see and we couldn't figure out how we would do it, but there was a warship, I think the Alabama or something like that, and they wanted to see a warship like that, a battleship, whatever. And the daddy says, well, I carry him around like I do a book sack. But you can't carry a person like that into those battleships like that. But even just him seeing it would have been okay. And he was one of them that was called. So I don't know anything about the people. You know, I just help cook and we bake things and, you know, just decorated and stuff, you know.
Well, my cousin had cancer, and he wanted to go to Hawaii, so he asked for that. And the whole family got to go to Hawaii. And then his mom, who also was dealing with cancer, they both passed. You know, they got to go to Hawaii on Make-A-Wish, which I thought was awesome.
It would be awesome. I've always wanted to go Hawaii and then or Alaska, and I can't travel. I have to have an RV or our camper and rent a truck that would be good enough to pull the camper, you know. And then we have our dogs and all that. You know, it's just I told my cousin the other day when I talked to her, I said, we need to have a family reunion. She said, yeah, my husband's got cancer again. I went, oh no.
Yeah.
Then
Oh
he's
no.
taking chemo again. Then her brother has cancer. He's dying. He's on home hospice. His son is on home hospice with cancer too.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I have cancer, you know. And then her other brother has back problems where he's on with a back brace and all that. And just having a family reunion within, say, a 2-hour drive from each other is almost impossible.
Yep. I'm so sorry to hear all that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but my cousin and my aunt both passed away. But they got
yeah,
to go, the whole family go to Hawaii before that happened.
that's nice. See, I can't get aboard ship now because of the Meniere's disease. Also because of my medication and being in a wheelchair and everything like that. I'm going to be miserable. Why have anybody try to donate money or donate something for that? You know, that's
Yeah.
not it, you know.
Well, it's people nominating others, which I think is good. You know, it's not
It is.
somebody
It
going
is.
and doing, it's going to say, you know what, you know, like I would probably take, and it can't be a family member. So I couldn't go on and say, listen, my husband really has had a difficult life and he deals with some disabilities and so forth. I couldn't nominate my husband, but somebody like what Josh has had to go through in his life and what he's dealing with, he would be somebody worth nominating, you know,
Yeah.
to be able to do that, because we're both on a fixed income, and just to be able to go on something like that would be impossible. Or somebody like my dad, if he was living, you know, and hadn't gotten dementia, but he was served in the military and served as a veteran, and it'd be awesome if somebody would have been able to nominate him for something like that and for him to go.
Well, see, that's
And
like my mom and dad. Dad had been in the service. He was with the VFW. Mom was with the Ladies Auxiliary. And anyhow, he had his stroke. He could still walk a little bit. He didn't have to have a wheelchair all the time. And when it got time for the national convention, which was in Las Vegas, Daddy wanted to go. And I was worried about his health. And I talked to Mom about it because she was legally blind at that time. And to go to and do something like that. So the doctor says if they want to go, we don't know how much longer they're going to live. I said, yeah, I know, you know, and it was 2 years before Dad died that they went. They loved it. Daddy saw the Grand Canyon. Mom and Dad had already seen the Grand Canyon on their honeymoon. And it was time for the war to start, you know, and that was all getting started. But this time they could take it easy, take a few more days. His cousin drove their big car. He had a town car. They hit 2 sandstorms going over there. And I get
it's
a
been a
phone
long
call.
day.
I'm sorry. It's the medication they've got.
That's okay. It's been a long day over here.
Oh yeah. I sleep on and off in my chair here. It's the medication they got me on.
Well, my sciatic nerve's been acting up, but then I had Blessings Through Connection this afternoon, and then I did a live with Tommy Kenyon
Yeah, I was in
talking
there.
about Canva. Then I went outside. Now I'm out here, and I'm starting to realize I am losing my voice.
Yeah. Wow. But it's amazing. There's still so many kind-hearted people out
Yes,
there.
there is.
I thank God for every one of them in Jesus' name, because I can do a little bit here and I can send it, if they want to sell it, if they want to give it, whatever. I don't mind doing that. Like the couple that's going to be coming to live here. We don't know exactly when, but if we can help the young couple, hey, it's better than nothing, And if it don't
Absolutely.
work out, we're going to find another place for them. Raise some money, go to the churches, whatever. Try to find another place. We got to help people.
You have it. It absolutely. It's like what we're doing with the prison project. We'd like to. There's a prison in. I'm going to say it wrong. Is it Wisconsin? No, Missouri. And there's gentlemen that are there, and 5 days a week they go to the sewing room in the prison and make beautiful quilts for children who are foster children. They make weighted blankets for those who are autistic, and vests for those that are autistic as well. And they have made beautiful quilts. They've made over 2,000 quilts since the program has been installed. And we're trying to put a box together. Fabric, sewing supplies, it's all run on donations. I've done a live about it. And, we'd like to send it as one for our community. I've got a box going for our Samaritan's Purse boxes that we do every year. The shoe boxes, we filled 2 shoe boxes last year. We want to fill 4 this year. So we have to. If God blesses us, we got to bless other people.
Oh, definitely. Jim called one day and said, Barbara, you and Wolf y'all can go out and buy, we need a total of 20 toothbrushes, face rags. So I said, I can't go shopping like I used to. So I said, Jim, what's your PayPal? So I sent him $20. Because I told him, I said, why did you buy it online? You can get it a lot cheaper than just put all the money together. He says, Barbara, there's only 3 of us left from the church. I went, huh? He says, it's you, me, and then Elton's brother and sister-in-law. I went, well, that's 4. He said, but 3 families. That's all that's left to my little old Methodist church. Aww. Everybody has passed away or moved away or whatever. I said, well, I'll send another $10. He says, we got to find a rep to go to South America to deliver all this. I said, is there another church, another Methodist church in Lake Charles One? He said, yeah, there's one more. I said, just put our stuff with them, because Jim's older than me. He's still walking a little bit, but he is older than me. Yeah. And just a few years older than me, but still. And then my ex-in-laws, Elton's brother and sister-in-law, they'd rather go to the casinos, but they still donate money, to anything that comes along, or they'll cook or whatever. It's just that, yeah, times changed.
Yeah, it has. And we
have to remember, we gotta help each other.
Absolutely.
So
here's the second reading from the book of Hebrews.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. Brothers and sisters, you have not approached to which could be touched, and a blazing fire and gloomy darkness, and the storm at a trumpet blast. And the voice speaking the words, such as those who heard, begged to that no message be further addressed to them. No, you have approached the Mount Zion and the city of living God, heavenly Jerusalem. The countless angels and the festal gathering and the assembly of firstborn roll in heaven. And God judges all, and the spirit of just and made perfect, and Jesus mediator of a new covenant, and the sprinkled blood that speaks more eloquently than of Abel. This is the word of the Lord.
Amen. Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. That's when we all get to heaven.
Amen.
Now, here's the reading from the Gospel according to Luke. On a Sabbath, Jesus went to dine at home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people were observing him carefully. He told the purple, those who have been invited, knowing how they were chosen the place of honor at a table. When you're invited by someone to a wedding banquet, do not recline at the table in the place of honor. A more distinguished guest than you may have been invited by him. And the host who invited both of you may approach you and say, give your place to this man. And then you will proceed with embarrassment to take the lowest place. Rather, when you are invited to go take the lowest place, so that when the host comes up to you, you say, my friend, move up to a higher position. Then you will enjoy the esteem of your companions at the table. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. Then he said to the host, who invited him, when you hold a lunch or dinner, do not invite your friends or your brother or your relative or your wealthy neighbor. In case they may invite you back, you have repayment rather than you when you hold a banquet. Invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind. Blessed indeed, you become their inability to repay, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. This is the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Hello, Robert. Welcome. Wow, this is interesting. How those like who exalt themselves will be humiliated, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. That's what Jesus talks about.
We're supposed to lift each other up.
Yeah, like not basically not go boasting like, oh, I'm better than you, I'm better than that. Look what I could do.
Nobody's better than each other. And my mother's even said, and I'm going to lose my voice in a minute because I've been talking a lot today. Be careful because, sometimes the way we talk to people, if there's someone going and talking to like a maid in a hotel and not being very nice,
right?
They may be they may be one you may be having to listen to in heaven. So be careful how you talk to people.
Oh yeah.
And treat people because God's watching.
Oh yeah. God watching everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know. In my case, I'm often looked down upon being blind.
And sometimes I think we all in our life have people that will, think they're better than us, and it just doesn't work that way. We're all the same under God. He didn't put one in front of the other.
Sometimes I feel that there are people better than me.
Well, you may feel that way, but it doesn't mean it's the case. Sometimes we can't pay attention to our feelings because they can be very, very deceitful.
Right.
And they are very fickle and they'll change.
Right. Yeah, but especially right there, but man, I have people look down upon me.
But that's their problem, not yours. And that's a heart transplant that they need.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do to change it.
Right.
You have to let God change it and let them be the ones to work through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we all need to humble ourselves before others. And when I was growing up, going to church, and I remember being told that being humble was mean being poor. That was my understanding years ago. I'm talking 20 years.
No.
Because when I was going to church, they were saying being humble means you're poor. Like in Spanish, like humble is humilde. In Spanish, humilde also means poverty.
No.
Like humble also mean poverty in the Mexican Catholics.
I don't look at humble that way. I think that sometimes we're not humble enough, quite
Right.
frankly. We need to be more humble.
Yeah, and that's I see a big difference here in Colorado versus where I'm from originally.
Well, it's a different culture.
Yeah, and it's not the same. The people are not humble versus where I'm from.
I think that you have to look at it and realize it's a very different culture in Colorado than it is in where you were
Yeah,
at.
right.
It's not necessarily that they're not as humble. It's just a different culture than what you're used to. It's
Right.
like Florida, where I grew up in, it's a much more busy and transit kind of area than up
Yeah,
here. It's not about so much about people being humble. It's just they're busier and it's more, we're more out in the country than the city. And I think it just depends on all that.
right. Because what
So,
I'm thinking, like where I'm from, people are more helpful, more friendlier than where I'm at now.
well, and I think it's also what you're tied into, you know? I think if you're tied into a good church where you've got a homebody, people that are coming together to help, I think that all depends on it too.
Right.
So,
And here's not like that, Like everybody goes their own way.
well, I think that we're doing more and more of that as time goes by in a society as well. We're not going
Right.
out and meeting our neighbors. We're not sitting on the front porch as much, and we got to do that more. I've met more people in the past couple of days since I've gone out and taken my rocking chair, sat out there, even though I'm live. And oh, hi. I met a lady, she's new in our neighborhood that I had not met before. And I was able to say hi to her. And so you got to get yourself out there and meet people. Which is going to be hard to do in the winter. I'm not going to sit outside, but you got to get involved in community.
Yeah, I had to change mic. So, like I said, it's that people here, like, yeah, where I'm from, especially down south, people will chit chat with the neighbor, will
And it
sit,
could be the
we
area
wave.
you're living. It could be
Yeah,
the area you're living into. So I think it all just depends on the area, the environment around you, and all that kind of stuff.
and over here, it's just people go their own way. They don't really say hi or nothing like that. Or
I don't know if we have that here. But I mean, we have, I mean, when we were in Florida, we had a neighborhood and it was tight because I grew up with it all. We knew each other. I think, again, it's just times are changing a little bit.
right,
And I think it depends on the community. I think it depends on the culture. I mean, I could step in and I will. Not next week starts the Greek Fest. I mean, I can step in there and people are putting their hands on my shoulder like I was a long lost relative, and it's like,
right,
because it's a different culture,
right.
and so I think it depends on the culture. I think it depends on the neighborhood, and I think we got to get out. I think we have to get more and more outside of our little, our little houses and start meeting our neighbors. Because
Right.
we can be missionaries in our own backyard.
Right.
We don't have to be on the mission field. You can be a missionary in your own backyard. Ouch! Sorry.
But that's one thing for sure. Like,
I
we
moved
should
in
wear
my
masks. The
sad.
neighbors here are more strict, more strengthened. You know, like.
I moved and my sciatic nerve wanted to tell me it didn't like the way I just moved.
I mean, like they're more of a restrictive type. You know.
Well, I don't think you've had the greatest experiences where you live with your neighbors. That's my personal view.
No.
You have had a very, very difficult road with your neighbors. They don't totally understand it. And so I think that if you were maybe in a different neighborhood with different kind of neighbors, I think it would be, it would be different. But your experience with your neighbors haven't always been the greatest.
Right.
And so it not that it distorts your view, but it can maybe look like it's not the it can give you a different view than maybe what it would if you weren't having that difficulty.
Right.
And when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God why he gave me a sciatic nerve, because I'm not happy with it. Oh my goodness.
You know, one thing I've been told that we shouldn't question God. That it's a sin to question God.
No, it's not. I question him all the time, Alfonso. I have sat. My husband has been amazing, because I don't know if you've ever had sciatic nerve pain. Have you ever had it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Sciatic nerve pain means, and that's why I have the camera off right now, because I'm having to move around a lot just to be able to deal with it. Sciatic nerve pain is like, let's just imagine a sharp shooting pain going straight down your leg. Burning, it's just really strong. And so your sciatic nerve is a bunch of nerves put together in like a big ball of nerves, and it goes out and tells the other nerves, hey, and so forth, and it helps you walk and everything. So my left side has been aggravated. My sciatic nerve has been in pain for probably about a month now, and they tried giving me prednisone, and that took the edge off it for about a week, and now it's back. But I'm a side sleeper, so if I'm sleeping on one side and I turn over, I have literally woken up my husband in a scream because it's so painful. And he's like, can you try not to do that? I'm like, I'm trying, believe me. But you're dead asleep and you're like, you start turning over and it hits, and you can't do anything other than just, and so he's trying to help me turn over, and it's excruciatingly painful. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So I've been dealing with that for a couple weeks. So praying people, please pray that it just goes away. I've had it before, but not this long. And I really want it to stop.
Yeah, so today's gospel was pretty interesting about humbling ourselves.
I think the whole Bible is God's love letter, and it's interesting.
Yes.
And we're transformed by his grace, and people are either going to come to him or they're not.
Right.
And
that's one thing for sure, But we need to put others first before ourselves,
Oh. But we need to put God first.
Yeah.
It's like, the other day, I'm not trying to bring up my sad nerve because nobody wants to hear about it. The other day, I got up and I went to put my left leg down, and I mean, the pain was intense. And the bed is not far from the wall. And I literally put my hand on the wall, and I thought, instead of being upset or angry because it hurt, I mean, I was in tears. I put my hand on the wall and said, God, thank you for the wall being here. I'm grateful it's here because I'd have fallen if it wasn't.
Right.
And so I was just sitting there thanking God for the wall. We need to thank God for the wall. We've been doing a lot of talking tonight.
Yeah, here's another song.
Sorry, Mama. We've been doing a lot of talking. I haven't been on for a couple weeks. We've been playing catch up, right?
Yeah. So here's another gospel. Here's another gospel by the Clone. When my soul was disturbed with sorrow, when my heart was burning with pain, Jesus came from the wall of mercy, and He came to set me free. Therefore, every hour in the field will do you no harm. In the Lord you will find protection. In the shelter of His arms. Let me live in the time of trouble. Let me live in the midst of the storm. Let me live in the holy place, in the shelter of His That was In the Shelter of His Arms.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, so like I said, so this song kind of relates to the reading from today, you know. So usually when I make my music selection, I try to select the music based on the readings.
You did a beautiful job. You always do.
Well, I'll try to do my best.
Well, you know, whatever you do, as long as you're lifting up the name of the Lord, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what you're doing. We're trying to do. We're not
Right.
perfect. None of us are ever perfect. But all we do is keep trying.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do. Take one day at a time and just keep going.
Yeah. That's all we can do. Because.
And we can be here for each other.
Yeah.
And be friends and help each other.
Yeah. I don't know what is it like in your area. Like, I don't know how the people are in your church or your community.
Oh, it's a different type of life up here because it's very out. I mean, we're out somewhat in the country out here.
Right.
So, you know, we have a tiny church.
Right.
But we have a church.
I mean, that's the kind of church I would like to go to.
I've been praying for that. I think eventually you'll find it.
Yeah.
And
it's just I'm becoming a big city in the big metro area, you know, everything's so big, you know, and
it's probably overwhelming, and then you're going to have to go there by yourself, and that's a little bit nerve-wracking. I get it. I totally understand it.
Yeah, and like I might not feel welcome in a big community setting, you know.
And you may need to find a pastor or a church that you can talk to the pastor individually that can introduce you to some people. So
Right.
if you go, you don't feel like you're totally by yourself. Because
Right.
I could see where walking into a church by yourself would be nerve-wracking.
Right. I've been to one small community church when I was in Meadow Lake, New Mexico, back in 2007. It's like 30 miles east of Los Lunas, New Mexico, 30 miles south of Albuquerque. And it was a great church, a great community.
I really hope you do find a church, though, Alfonso, that you can start connecting with.
Right. And you know, I remember that was one of the best churches I went to. It was the best choir that I was in. We played the old time Spanish hymns, you know, the good stuff, you know. That's one of the best churches that I felt very welcome. And then before that, I was in Alamogordo, New Mexico, like going to that church as well. Immaculate Conception Church, that was another great church. And I played with them for 4 years, and I felt very welcome there too, you know, because it wasn't a big mega church either, you know. It was like a small parish community.
Well, you've got to find the church that's going to work best for you.
Right.
You know, and I've been praying that you will find it, because I think if you do find it, you will, because they're missing out on it.
Right.
they're missing out on, someone that could really be an asset, great person within their community.
Right. And a lot of times, a lot of these big churches, they're more concerned with liability. That's what we got to look at. They're more concerned.
That's a shame.
They're more concerned of liability. Like, what if someone falls, gets hurt? Yeah. Yeah, of course they don't want that, but still, they're more concerned with the liability. Like, they don't want to pay, or like they don't want to spend on the accommodation.
So to me, that's sad, though.
Yeah.
Well, that has been my prayer for you, that you find a church that you can really get into.
Right. Yeah. My friend, one of my friends in New Mexico, I knew from college, and he tells me like he was Catholic, but he converted to Mormon for the purpose of having multiple wives. And he was telling me that I should convert to Mormon.
No. There was a time when people were doing that, when they were doing, there's no need for that anymore.
Right.
There's no need to have that.
Right.
There was a time for it. There was a purpose for it, but that's not something that needs to happen now. And you do not need to convert to Mormonism now.
I know, but my friend in New Mexico, he told me that, man, because he told me that he went to confession to a priest, and then the priest gave him a hard penance, told him to divorce his wife and all that, and become a priest himself.
My husband has said, when he sees that, he goes, I have enough trouble keeping up with one wife. I don't need more than that. He said, one wife is enough. He said, I just have enough time, I just have enough. I struggle enough to just take care of the one. I don't need more than that.
Right.
And look at the guy that's on, what is it, on Sister Wives or whatever.
Yeah, Sister Wives.
Look at him.
Yeah.
His whole family's falling apart.
Yeah. Because of all the stress that they had to go through for each wife.
And it's not biblical. It's just not. And I've never really understood it, because I'm like, okay, well, the husband can have more than one wife. Yeah, but what about the woman? She can't have more, just the whole thing doesn't make sense. It served a purpose at one time. It doesn't need to be now.
Right.
So,
but here's the thing. Now, the Mormons, they believe that Christ came to the U.S. after resurrection, came to the Americas. I don't know if that's true, or that's like something that they added to their Bible, too.
I'm not necessarily, I have no idea. If the Bible doesn't say it, it's not there.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
We have to believe what's in the Bible if we're going to go forward.
Because I don't think, because, when Jesus resurrected, he wasn't on this side of the world. We were more like in the Middle East, right?
Yeah, he was over in Israel and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think he would have come all the way to this side, right?
No, because he was over in Israel. That's where it
Right.
happened. That's, he showed himself to people that knew him so that they could write about it in the book, in the Bible.
Right.
So people could go tell the world.
Right.
And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Going to tell people the good news.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't think like it wouldn't be logical for
I mean,
Jesus.
he could have gone anywhere he wanted to go, but he showed himself to the disciples, which were over in that area.
Right.
So,
But during the last 40 days, I don't think it wasn't possible for him to travel all the way to the America, because I think that would have been, it would have taken 6 months.
well, yes, but again, like I said, he was God. He could have gone over there in no time.
Right.
But he was here to be man, and
Right.
he was with, the disciples. So,
Right.
I don't know where some people get this stuff other than I don't know where they get it from, because it's like, you're not reading the Bible I'm reading, I guess.
Right. Makes me wonder too,
Absolutely.
like how they add to their book, the Book of Mormon, how they add like how Jesus came to America during the last 40 days, and how polygamy was okay and all that.
Well, I have, and I did it for the basis because I wanted to understand, not Mormonism, but I wanted to understand why Priscilla and Lisa Marie Presley went to Scientology.
Right.
So I have learned a little bit about that. It's a cult, whatever Benny wants to say, it's a cult. And I've learned a little bit about what they believe. It's nutty as could be, but I haven't learned it to go practice it. I learned it because I wanted to just understand what Priscilla saw in it in order to go over there. But doesn't mean I'm going to go be a Scientologist tomorrow. No, I don't think so.
No.
So
you just wanted to understand their view.
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't think no matter how much I did any kind of research on that one, I would never understand it.
Right.
Because goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to believe Zeno and all those, it's nutty.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for the people that are trapped in that, just disbelief. I feel so bad because it's like, I feel so bad that they're treated the way they're treated terribly.
Right.
I mean, they're literally paid like $40 a week to do all this work. It's just it's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And David Miscavige is making money off of it and making money off the backs of people, and I think it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you're looking at Goodwill, the thrift store, Goodwill Industries.
Yeah.
They hire people with disability, but you know what they do? They exploit them. They pay them well below the minimum wage. You're looking at starting at 22 cents an hour, and they'll be doing the same jobs as a cashier, a sorter, whatever. They pay you based on how severe your disability, and blind is one of the worst disability you could have. So you're going to be making 22 cents an hour if you're blind working for Goodwill. And while the CEO is making billions of dollars.
I know, it's a shame. And that we have people that are in the government that can look at an organization like Scientology and say they're a church.
Right.
Okay. I don't know how they did that.
I don't know, but I tell you what, when I first came here in 2018, I knew another blind individual who got a job after graduating from the Colorado Center for the Blind, and he got placed at Goodwill, and after his first paycheck, he only made like $1.50 for the first 3 weeks as a cashier.
Maybe they've improved. Who knows?
And there was not too long ago. There was some back in 2018, 2019 when it happened. And he quit after his first paycheck.
Well, I probably would have done the same thing too.
Because if he find out that he was making 22 cents an hour.
Yeah, I would have said, adios, I'll go find someplace else.
Yeah. So he quit.
We were doing our garage sale, and a lady came by and she gave me a card. And she, there are places and people, and she said, I do some kind of, she gets things for people that instead of giving them to the Goodwill, she gives them, you can call her, she'll come by and get the stuff, and then she gives it to needy families. Right. So if you look around, there's people that will do stuff like that, or there's different organizations and that you can use. I mean, a Goodwill does serve a purpose to some degree. I mean, it just depends.
It depends, but we just heard a lot of horror stories about Goodwill, how they exploit these individuals with disabilities and paying them well below the minimum wage.
That's terrible.
And then not only that, they're subjected to corporal punishment and stuff like that.
Well, hopefully that's not everywhere.
I hope so too, because then that would not be good. But from what I've heard through the National Federation for the Blind, like it's been happening everywhere across the nation.
Well, maybe there's better ones than others. I think that you kind of get that in every work environment.
Right.
So.
But that's the way Goodwill rolls, But I'm glad I don't work for them.
Well, I'm glad you don't either.
Because I can imagine how much would it cost me to take the bus to work there, right?
Yeah.
I would be spending more money on the bus than what it takes to earn.
I'm glad you don't either.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock, and I do have to get up for church tomorrow.
All right.
And right now, this is hurting to sit. I don't know how much longer I can sit. This I had nerve. Be praying for me, my friend. I want to see it go away.
For sure. Go away, man.
Yes.
They feel better.
100%. We'll be praying for Barbara too.
Yes.
If you have a prayer request, put it in the comments in the video, and we'll certainly be praying for you.
Yeah, please do so.
Yeah. And if you haven't subscribed to Alfonso's channel, subscribe.
And then if you don't want to say what your prayer's about, you could say as unspoken,
Yeah, unspoken prayer request.
Yeah, you don't have to give the details. I understand it could be privacy matter.
Well, and God knows what it is.
Yeah. So
He absolutely knows.
Yeah, so I want to thank you all for coming, right? Thank you all, and have a good night. I'm going to close out.
Have a good week, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
I got the joy. All right, I want to thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alfonso. That was so fast.
You're welcome.